after I woke up to my friend being synchronized as Tasselhoff Barefoot, I realized that the authors were responding to the audience, and actually the speed of light or gravity or maybe what the colonies of bacteria living inside of us allow us to actually connect to other people. And when I am in the act of writing something, I'm actually connecting to where it will arrive as I am doing this, in a place that is almost timeless, outside of time. And so the Green Man legend that you find in Portland, the prophecy, shows that there's a stag that appears in the sky. This happened already because of my girlfriend that I paid to read the Dragonlance story, the first book. I was wanting more help at the time for people to be able to communicate if there was danger or if they were feeling threatened, so that there was a way to alarm other people about somewhere that's, something's off and something needs to be done about it. So while I was paying for everything, and I asked her to not work for like almost a year, and we went on vacation and painted and stuff like that, and I wanted to treat her for a little while and help me promote this game online. So if her thoughts are clouds, the stag appeared in the sky. And in Portland, where she was living in the Pearl District, this is a Pearl District because of the celebration thing that we made. That is a preparation for pre-death funerals. But the letter Q, found in the way our ancestors would teach, a more civilized way of complementing to win rather than competing, and teaching us that we're not objects, or teaching the men that the women weren't objects by way of selecting the object at their feet. A pearl would have been one of the objects that our ancestors would have used. Anyways, so the stag appearing in the sky of Portland in the Green Man prophecy represents a person waking up to my story, and is supposed to lead to several other things that I'll be writing about and sharing in my blog. But it's a very beautiful thing going on here, and something that the people definitely deserve to know about, especially the authors. The authors, more than everybody, need to know about what they did. Otherwise, it would feel like I was doing something wrong if I wasn't connecting with the author and letting the author know what the person did. So, and this is something, another reason people should be told about this, because they need to know that somebody could be out there analyzing them, and like as if they're a guinea pig. And this has been happening for since before cameras. Since before cameras, people have been aware of this sort of thing. But anyways, so the white stag in the story is what the heroes follow when they're lost. White has represented right because it rhymes to the subconscious mind. And so the reason I thought about this part in the story was because I knew if the authors were responding to the readers, that they would have been aware that this was a part of the story that I hated the most, and that I disagreed with, and thought that it made it dumb, and it was the part of the story that I complained about the most, because I was vegan. And so at this part here, it shows the forest master. So the companions followed the stag to Prayer's Eye Peak. They were supposed to go to heaven, or haven, which would represent getting married and having children and singing to their crib with the beautiful faces and voices or whatever. That represents heaven. And to me, that's been Highland, where my parents did it for us. And so I've been trying to recreate Highland somewhere else. And I made myself a promise that I wouldn't have children until I owned a house as nice as the one that my parents had in Highland. And so here we see the forest master that they found when the companions went to Prayers Eye Peak. So I was living in Utah, where everybody was Mormon. My family was not Mormon. My mom was there because she was a flight attendant. So going to Prayers Eye Peak kind of represents the truth of what happened and the reason I didn't already get married and have kids. I haven't done this yet. I saved myself. And while growing up, in my mind, while I was saving myself and imagining someone who would look like Deanna Troi from Star Trek, or, she had a certain look to her, I believe it's coming from a future echo. I had a preference, Marianne over Ginger and stuff like that. And when I think about my family, they always knew their place in a weird way. Like my brother didn't say that Deanna Troi was his favorite. He said, Tasha Yar or something like that. And then in the name Tasha Yar, you find a reminder to our subconscious mind to put all of your focus in monogamy or your partner that you have right now. Because Patricia Richardson was also one of the people that was my mermaid growing up. Instead of using, what other people used online or whatever, I thought that was embarrassing. And I would feel kind of gross and dirty if I used something like that. So I would try to use my mind. And in my mind, while I was doing it, somebody was thankful. And I thought it was like a mother. And now I'm seeing it as a future, whoever I, get married to and have kids with. And so, anyways, in Patricia Richardson, she was from the show Tool Time. And this amazing story that happened where I was driving to my friend's house. I made a Home Depot commercial for her, or a Home Depot song. I was halted and then saw something on my birthday that was a Home Depot commercial that turned me around and inspired me to go to Portland. But unfortunately, there was something very illegal going on, trying to stop me. As shown in the red robes, when I was praying to my ex-girlfriend, when I hooked up with my ex-girlfriend, I was waking, for the first couple weeks, I was waking her up every night telling her about another woman that was coming to my dreams and having her way with me. And so to get this woman off of me and to get her to stop doing this, I prayed to a red robe. And so that's why the red robe for the Dragonlance Synchronicity has meant neutral or getting off of everybody, like not on anybody's side, just solitary. And on her side, you can see on somebody else's side, so where I was praying to a red robe because I wasn't ready yet for her. And somebody else synchronized was praying to the red robes. And it seems to be trying to warn me of a network that was illegally there first and illegally surrounded her and illegally blocked me from being able to reach her and illegally tried to prevent us from meeting. Something like human trafficking. As she's praying, and you can see these men with handcuffs in robes surrounding her, taking away my American rights. Anyways, so I witnessed something on Facebook back in 2012, and I've been illegally blocked since then. Anyways, when I used a dating website or something like that, I would only be allowed to meet up with somebody. They would only read my messages or whatever if it was somebody that would make it look like make it easier for somebody else to be forgiven or understood or justified for doing something very illegal, like bringing the Cold War into our country. And so the Forest Master, this came up because this was the part of the story that I hated the most, because the companions go to the Forest Master after Prayer's Eye Peak prevented them from going to heaven because of the Draconians they met on the road. That's a very, very good description, because they would represent illegals and Mexicans. The one that was dead and injured on the road, that would represent a victim of the drug wars. That the person that spoke Spanish among us would know about, who is dead now. So Leroy Jenkins, to me, is a guilt trip. People that knew what was going on. Everybody deserves a chance to grow up and to change, and I have. I have dramatically. Why else would things synchronize to this point of making me, synchronizing me as Batman or Superman and all these other things, so that I can actually go to court and win? Because what happened to me was so wrong. I deserve a chance. I deserve everybody else benefits from my success because of my goals and what I've set out to do, and the ambitions and what they actually are. There could be somebody trying to prevent me because of the love of everything Polly. Or, wants to make sure that he doesn't want to ever be compared to us. But, in my future, it might be very corny. This woman that was coming to me in my dreams, she had a Soundgarden shirt on. And Chris Cornell, it means something to me. I've had a dream of being Skywalker, whatever, coming up from behind her in a dream, in an intimate dream. It probably was something going on her side that was helpful in saving her, keeping her safe, maybe warning her. In a similar way that I had a dream that I thought it was my mother, but it actually wasn't my mother. Because as a child, I used to stick my head between my legs and try to imagine that the ceiling was a floor and that I would fall up into the sky. And in this dream that I had of my mother, we were up on the ceiling, as if it was a floor. There was a different perspective, but I couldn't see her face. And so, since it happened in the sky, the air element is for the marriage, for your spouse. It's letting me know that it's actually my future wife. And it wasn't actually my mom. There's always something to figure out when you can't see their face. And there was somebody that kissed me on the chest as the air, and I couldn't see her. She was camouflage. And I was supposed to ignore everybody between us and run to her and get to her before it was too late. And so between us, there are a lot of people, and I need to make sure I have the right to reach her. I need to make sure I have the right to meet her. It's very possible that people intentionally led her toward a path that would prove that she wasn't worthy, or that she wouldn't be trustworthy, or that she wasn't worth meeting. That's extremely possible. So, especially because of the timing. Whenever I complained about something, a concern especially, it seemed like people actually would lead her toward that direction so that I would get off her. Anyways, so as you can see, the unicorn is the forest master. In that story, the companions, after they come across the Draconians, they come across the forest master, and this is what really woke me up to how it was synchronized as my friends and myself, was because when they came to this part, I knew that the authors would have responded to this part the most because of my being vegan. And it was there that I realized that I was synchronized as Raceland Majir, the wizard. That's only one of them, though. I was also synchronized as Tanis Half-Elven, the leader of the companions. It's kind of like the Tasselhoff Burrfoot, Tasselhoff Burrfoot and the Lorana sort of thing, but not really. It's not really like that. It's completely different because it's one of them's not better than the other. It's in a way that's just more like warming me. Because being mistaken as Angel Gabriel, but I was never gay. Be real. I had red hair, but only in the beard. And I have made, normal childhood mistakes or whatever. The Trinity knot is supposed to fix that for the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit being, me or whatever, asking for people to work harder and not die from pleasure, to kiss below the feet of baby Jesus rather than to, die from energy, the release of energy when there hasn't been enough work. It kills people. It kills people that are sharing gravity with us because a man isn't there to be sucked on like a woman. It will kill them. There is a tremendous amount of energy that is released and needed for such an act to happen. It is there for life-giving purpose, but he's there to work more than he is there to provide for the baby. So be careful of that. That's a scary direction. So the Forest Master, when the companions came across the Forest Master, there was a deer offered to them as venison, and the Forest Master said that the deer gave itself to them and was okay about it. And I thought that was so ridiculous, but they actually fixed it because of being synchronized to me. And if you go back and read over it again, the way that they worded everything, the timing of the thoughts that I have, and all of the experience that I go through is wow. It actually made it part of my favorite part, because of somehow they knew, and somehow they cared, and somehow they didn't want me to think their book was horrible, and they wanted me to think it was the best. So my opinion mattered, and they needed money, and my spreading the word on how good this book was helped them tremendously. I've told people everywhere my love for this fantasy setting and everything. People knew about it everywhere, and they actually were capable of doing that for me. But they are capable of doing much more than just trying to impress me or whatever. It's absolutely amazing what they've actually have been capable of doing. But anyways, so that is where I really found that this was the most true. That was when I really woke up to how this was real, was because of what happened at the Forest Master and the fact that I was vegan for so long. I'm not really vegan. Right now I'm vegan on a diet of fish and vegan. Kind of concerned about stuff, so I'm getting tested and stuff for making sure it's safe, because a fish is a little bit more dangerous than other things because of not being able to sweat. I'm making sure to have the fish, from farms and stuff like that. I don't have it from any. We're scary. It's funny that the last place that I actually freaked out. um, I was afraid that something was put in my food. They had the name of the street that it was on was the name of the website that I found when I looked up heavy metal poisoning or something like that, and how it was linked to fish. And what happened at that restaurant could have been actually to save me, to freak me out. So I would make sure to, stay away from what could have been heavy metals or whatever coming from certain fish. So I need to go back and apologize. They're good people and they're helpful. But how scary was it that somebody could have used what was gathered from spying on me to try to kill me illegally because of what I witnessed? That was too much back in 2012. If you want to know more about this, go on my website, tweeting20s.com. I need to go to court. I need support. I need help. I'm kind of desperate. And I'm very thankful for these authors forever for what they've done to try to save my life. I am very frightened of Kitty Yara. She is extremely dangerous, and it fits the identity of any woman capable of doing that. Stern Brightblade, a spear killed him. That could be asparagus. While growing up, Patricia Richardson is a woman from Tool Time. She was like Deanna Troi or Marina Sirtis. It's a person I thought about while growing up, saving myself from my wife, mother of my children. And the woman I've been dreaming about has been coming to me as my wife or the mother of my children. I saw her the first time I saw her and I knew that it was her. She was at Marina Street at the Sky Bar. Very, very magical, very beautiful story. Something she deserves to get. Something she deserves to witness and to have. And to know is real. How scary and evil that somebody actually hired her to ruin everything and use her against me. So I'm going to have to go to court. I'm going to have to save her because she's been paid. It's like somebody's been paying her to keep her poor, unfortunately, because the biggest opportunity that she had has been wasted. And they probably wanted to surround her with Scientologists so they'd be justified. Toolman Taylor is the name of him in the Tool Time show. And what's funny about that is because Taylor would be the name of Takasis, I found out. The girl who synchronized as the Queen of Darkness, or Takasis. And so because of this, it's funny because Tim Allen's name has all and then the letters E-N. E is wondering, and then N is loving, eating, drinking for the children. So it's like, why not have everyone? It's a really funny joke. Because of the name Taylor, because of the things that this woman has shared, because of what my ex-girlfriend could have done to try to, make sure this girl was open to having more than one. I'm not sure how real that is, but I do know that I'm older, and people have wanted to make sure that she was open, and I don't want her to be. I wanted her to be monogamous and help me find a man for these women. Help me find a man for all these other women. In my dreams, I was having a continuous dream of a lineup of women, brides as far as I could see, with white and red dresses, and they were wanting to get married. And then I had an experience where she kneeled to me at Riverside to marry me. And then I came across her with a certain dress. And I realized that she posted herself in this dress with a rose on her chest, showing her knees. At the same time, the same day that I posted a bunch of pictures of myself acting crazy when my girlfriend put on a white dress and we went to a Rasputina concert and they changed the lyrics from life to wife and they were trying to hook me up so that I would get married. And I was responding to much more while I was taking the pictures. I was responding as if there was a woman in the future and my kids, and also maybe a threat. So while on a quest to find the woman that was responding the most, to find the largest echo, I decided not to have a refrigerator until I found her and she asked me to stay in her location. And so I pointed at a picture of a girl with roses on her head at my girlfriend's place. I put a target on my head that was purple, which meant like stay away. Purple has meant stay away. And so it's like, and she put on a white dress, and I was praying to a red robe to get this other woman off me because I wasn't ready yet. And I was acting very crazy. I took all these pictures of myself pointing at this magnet on a refrigerator, as if trying to tell myself something, that she was actually somewhere else. And so, please understand what my ex-girlfriend went through and help me to find her somebody. I've been trying to create a letter Q that is a lineup of handsome men to go out with her for too long. She was, there was more going on than we knew. And it was possible, extremely possible, that my life was being threatened because of being with her, because of other people that wanted her.